early 80s Yoruba song. He said, "Gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ń wọlé sí, ìwọ ṣá máa jà kiri, ìwọ ṣá máa jà kiri. Gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ń wọlé sí, ìwọ ṣá máa jà kiri." I don't know whether it's Kollington, but one of those Fuji people. Some people will be looking like, this guy go ras small. Why that Fuji? Sorry, I'm just a victim of being a city boy. I was born in the city, and it's not. We don't play it at home, but on the streets, when the barber, I don't know how many of you lived in Lagos. When the barber is playing like 50 meters or 20 meters to your house, they will raise the volume,
increase the volume so high, yeah.
So uncomfortable. So I grew up, and so many of those things I can still retain them. So, sympathize with me a little bit. The point is this: what that means is that all your contemporaries, they are doing great things.
Yeah,
they are advancing in every area of human endeavors. They're stepping up. They are the ones that is supplying direction. Dominating the space, succeeding.
Yes.
You are just busy gallivanting, rigmaroling, and you are just wasting yourself. You think you are enjoying, but you are just wasting your life.
Yes.
I don't like people talking down Nigeria, but this is our reality. This is not a talk down. We just want to reflect the reality. We import everything. People say we don't produce, but I know there's some little production going on, but like we consume everything from phone to clothes to every aspect of our life. Even when people are building houses, they import tiles from Italy. They import their sets. Some of the things you see. Also, we are not a producing nation, as it were, and that's what is pushing a lot of us to diaspora, because we are, exporting our money. Are you getting me? And exporting our labor, and we are not actually exporting so much things of value out there.
Yeah.
So while the world is advancing, where is Nigeria? Where would you say where is Nigeria in the global scheme of things? And what is your take on where we are right now? We have AI. We are not leading in any aspect of technology. We have some fintechs, we have some startups, we have brilliant people doing great things everywhere. And Nigerians in America here, our community has the highest number of the most read people, the highest number of PhDs. I believe that's the same thing in UK. Globally, we are killing it.
Yeah.
But our country, despite all that, manpower, all those skill sets and all those things, everything is mostly offshore. You see what happened to the banks recently. Some banks had really serious issues because a lot of their tech people had migrated to Canada, permanent residence, America, UK. We were saying in one of our interviews that if they take Nigeria out of the UK system, for example, the IT infrastructure and everything
will collapse.
I wanted to say we suffer. Now, help me to answer this in the light of where are we as a nation, despite all those talents, despite all those gifts, in the global scheme of things, in these days of AI, and take it from there.
I think I will explain. I will respond in 2 sentences. Individually, we're great. We aspire individually. We always attain great heights in society individually, but collectively, we are nowhere. Yeah, collectively, we are nowhere. Because
what is the way forward?
Way forward is to start at least learning to work together. It's not even working together as such for now. It's learning to work together, learning to do things together, learning to actually get along. Learning to get along with one another would be a good start. If you put us all in a place, we are the one. If you compare us to any other race, you put 10 of us or 15 of us together. Okay, this is what we need to do, or just come up with something. We are likely to be the one that will fight, to be the one that would argue, to be the one that would, because we're not used to just having a simple idea and putting all our personal differences aside and focusing on that idea. And it's not our fault. Again, when I say we've lost our core beliefs, this is what I mean by that. That with all this shift has really done damage to us, to the point where we can divide and conquer, has done enough damage to us that we cannot come together anymore that it requires a very strong glue to bring us together.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. I know I interrupted your thoughts on that. I know we have gone beyond the time that we plan to spend on this live show. I don't know if you have a couple of minutes more, because definitely you have structured your calendar. Can we take one or two questions before we round off? Because this effort is also towards nation building. You are an IT professional. From what you shared in the recorded interview that we have already posted on our channel, both the Odipgon, our Yoruba channel, and if you ask Jimmy channel, you touched on a number of places, and some of those, everything that you mentioned is very germane. You are an IT professional. That's where I'm going. And then you have been there, seen all. Now, when you go to, when you look at Nigeria still in the global scheme of things, I want to ask, okay, you said you have a background in finance, and from your intro, I mean, from some of the conversation, you let me know that you are also an investor.
Yeah.
You are into mining, and that you travel to East Africa, like 3 or 4 times in a year, and just for business and all of those things. Now, still on this issue of Nigeria, I want to ask you, because you said our people, I asked the question, they party a lot, but we don't do things together. You say individually we are good, but collectively. So one of the things you said to me, I don't know whether, was the fact that our people do not coalesce, to actually do big business together. You want to expatiate on that?
Yeah, if we look at it's a very deep goal. It's a deep one.
Deep goal, very deep.
Because if we have to look at we have to compare with successful organizations. Even if we look at the successful, I am in technology space. So
which domain of tech are you?
I'm in data. I'm a data architect, but I've done a lot of things in the past. I was a cloud architect in the past. So I do help organizations move from on-premise to the cloud, AWS and Microsoft Azure and things like that. So I've done I'm usually one of the ones that help with designing organization infrastructures and planning how it moves.
Okay.
What I see is that, as I said, individually we're great. We meet Nigerians all the time. We meet our peers that are great, doing great things, have great experience, and can do a lot of things, come up with great ideas. But we don't have the fortitude to stay with it and see it through, because we are reward based. Our belief, our system is reward based, and it's short-term reward based. So if I need to explain that a bit further, I would say, imagine if, as you are my Egmo, that you have a startup.
Why are you exposing me? You want to start you old? You are around 50, and you are telling. Sorry, did I leak your own age too? And then
no.
you're saying Egmo so that people can make me. Do I look that old to you? I bet.
No, you're slightly older.
Slightly. Okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah. We are family. Let's go.
Yeah. So I would say, if we use an example of starting a company, technology company, how many Nigerians will be able to see it through? It's going to take. Apple is a good example. It started in a garage. We don't have many organizations that we can actually have 1 or 2 people that will see it through from garage to then getting into a point where you can actually ask for investors and people will invest
and you
in
go
equity.
Public with initial public order and get it listed as a public company.
Yeah, I had a startup at some point way before this LEMFI, and I approached the company in Nigeria to actually raise funds, and from the start, this is a finance house, and they wanted something like 5% of whatever they raised for me as a cut. And obviously, I'm not using this money to just go on a shopping spree. The organization needed it to. I said, look, if I'm losing 5%, then I'm already in trouble, because how am I going to survive? You already took 5% out of what I say I need.
Maybe nothing goes for nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Whereas in the Western world, there's a good understanding that we need to put money in this, and in a year or 2 years' time, then we will get a reward.
Are people, in short, they do not do big business together? We are not used to partnership, and because you mentioned people from other communities, how they can buy a whole street, lock it down, get into business.
Absolutely.
That takes me to the next question. You answer it together with this, and probably that should be our last question. There's something that you said that concerning Japada.
Yes.
That, when I said, you said some people will go back, that you are one of those people.
Yes.
That some people like you will go back, and then they will prepare the space, and that you don't see that change happening as a quick fix that can happen in this generation. It might take one or two generations, but some people need to go and lay the foundation. You want to use that to add to, part of the foundation will be investing in bringing our skills back and all those things. So on the overarching concept of Japada right now, I want you to take us home with, practicality of, from the angle you said that some of us need to go back, and that's what people like you will go do, even though you said you don't know whether you're going to eventually live in Nigeria or in West Africa or in some parts of Africa. Yeah. The important thing is that let's talk about Africa, the Japada thing, and how, because the question was from Nigeria in the global scheme of things, not to talk down on Nigeria, but to see what we need to do and what we should be doing that can reposition us and make us to be globally competitive. And then, of course, take it away.
The great thing about Nigeria, we'll start with that. The great thing about Nigeria is the population. So, and the economic power cannot be ignored in Africa. So whatever one is planning to do, you have to factor Nigeria into your plans. Otherwise, the story I was telling you earlier, I approached the company in Nigeria. Okay. They wanted a certain amount, a certain cut. Then I had a guy reached out to me here because the company was doing okay. I was just struggling financially because I floated everything with my own money. So a person contacted me, wanted to actually take the funding forward on this side. And one thing he did, he came back to me very quickly and he said, a lot of investors are saying you're focusing on a very high risk environment, Nigeria. They wouldn't want to He said a lot of things, and I just responded with one sentence that, look, if you mean the most populous country in Africa, yes. And if you're saying you don't want to be part of investing in that, I completely understand. But that focus is not going to change. You want me to go to the smallest country in Africa because it's less risky? It's not going to happen. That you have to understand that there's high risk and high reward in this. If they're not experienced enough to understand that and balance that out, then they're not really the right investors for me. And that was how I finished it. So as I said, the potential is there. Nigeria has a great thing going for it, the population. We have a lot of people that are connected using their phones, and there's a lot of services you can provide to those people. When it comes to Japada, I don't want to go back to Nigeria when I'm retired, when I have very little to contribute, because I will have been frail, I'll be weaker, and I would just want to enjoy my retirement. I don't want to do that. Then you're not really contributing much. And you cannot be campaigning for change and progress and not be part of that change. So this is why I said I will go back and I will do my own bit. But whether I go back and stay in Nigeria, that's a different case, depending on the situation of things.
What about other Nigerians in diaspora? What's your advice concerning nation building?
Nation building, I think we all have to do it because we've got a lot of experience. I look at myself and I think with all this experience, it would be a waste for me to just continue to work here until I retire. It would be a complete waste, and I would definitely regret that. So what I want to do is at least in some ways pass the experience, whether by investing in technology, investing in younger people that have great ideas, and then running various businesses. I have a friend that actually has had a hotel in Nigeria now for the past 3 or 4 years, and is back and forth. He's a technologist as well. and it's back and forth. Whenever he's not here working, he's in Nigeria running his hotel.
Great. Finish your thoughts, sir.
Yeah, so basically, I feel like we definitely need to have that view of going back, because we cannot. I personally feel like when you get to a certain age in this country with the cold, you definitely want to be where your body would.
Awesome. I already said take it home, but finally, if we have this conversation, because we don't know how soon we'll get you back again. You're a very busy person and you travel a lot internationally. Thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you very much.
At the end, but one question. If we talk about the nation, we talk about investment, we talk about our people in diaspora, but we don't talk about family, then this interview will not be complete.
Yes.
The issue of culture shock. Our children are neither here nor there. And we have African parents trying to raise their children with African mindset in a Western or European or whatever abroad, because we have Nigerians everywhere, Australia, Asia, and everything, Canadian. And these are children. Some of the parents think they are recalcitrant and they are being influenced in these days of social media and everything. Sometimes parents don't sympathize with these children being torn between two cultures.
Yes.
What has been your experience on this? And let's use that to drive it home. Finally,
I will
parenting and parenting in the abroad.
We have to adapt to environment wherever we find ourselves. And if we're giving birth to children in that environment, we need to understand the implication of that as well. That we're giving birth to children that will be, British with Nigerian influence.
They must be functional both ways, not dysfunctional here and fully functional.
Exactly.
There must be total end-to-end functionality.
You have to be. I have a friend that he's got grown boys, and the boys are already in age, they're in uni already, and they're now starting to date, bring home girlfriends. So he noticed that both boys, they're now bringing back non-Nigerian, non-African
Caucasians,
Caucasians, and he asked them one time, boys, I noticed this is the case, and your mom is asked me that, have you asked the boys that what's the, and the boys they said to the dad, do you want us to go through what we see you go through every time with all the drama with our mom and the aunties?
Excuse me.
And I said, wow. So he said he couldn't go back to the wife and said, by the way, the boys this is the difference, the difference in culture. That they see what we do, how we go to parties, how we behave, and the boys do not want to be part of that because they're of different background. They see these things and they don't connect with it. And we don't really understand, and we think they should be connecting, but why should they? So I think there was a disconnect there, and even the mom is completely unaware. But if the only person, I don't even think the husband is the best person to actually tell you about you. But if your son cannot be biased. Husband can have girlfriend that are nudging him in one direction or the other, but your son can never be biased. Your son will tell you the clear feedback that you need to have.
Up and play.
And the same thing with your, as a father, your son will tell you or your daughter will tell you the feedback that you need to get as a father. So it's a shame that we find ourselves in this situation, but I think we need to do better as parents to understand that these kids are not from, they're not born in Nigeria and they're not really growing up in Nigeria. So we can't raise them as Nigerian.
So we need to find a balance in parenting, because they will definitely reflect and mirror the two societies where they have been raised.
They only been raised in one society.
Okay.
They only have influence of the other society,
that's true.
And they go on holiday. They go on holiday, and that's it.
That's true.
That's the hard part. But we feel like they're being raised in two societies, but they're not.
Okay. I get you, especially in these days of globalization, and the handset has made everything.
Yeah.
together. What are your last words? Because I've asked you a lot of questions. Is there anything you'd like to just end with? Let me give you that room to,
Yeah, I think I've said it earlier that I think it's very important for us to really search and reflect on how we want to continue to develop as individual and start developing with our network. It's very, very important. It's the only way people grow and people become formidable. If we don't have that, we cannot grow as a community. We cannot grow as a people. Even abroad, even in diaspora. I'm not talking about us going back home now to build anything, but even abroad, if you have one or two people, how many people do you actually offer to support and help? No, it may not be financial. I mean, there are people that are always japping, new in town, need this, need that. We need to start doing that to build a network, a stronger network, because the future, we need those networks to then build our own power. Because we are in a society where economic power and political power is vital. If we do have none of that, then we have no leverage.
Wow. What a nice way to end it, Mr. Ademola Dayo, IT professional, British-born Nigeria, raised, born in Britain, went back to Nigeria, and has been living in the UK for over 30 years, investor, and also a data information technology cloud architect. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of If You Ask Jimmy, and we really appreciate you on behalf of our viewers for doing this with us. You are on record as being the first person to be brought to this program for a live interview. You were also having that special place in the annals of our channel history. You're smiling, oh, bro. So you are of being the first individual to actually do a recorded interview with us that is already going viral. We appreciate all the nuggets that you have dropped. You have dropped a lot of gold, and I know that you are loaded and you're going to give us more. If we ask you next time to, just come and share your thoughts with people, because I've been getting feedback from your previous interviews, will you oblige us, sir?
Absolutely. I'm always happy to help. And as we said, the network is important. I know I'm based in the UK, but again, we can continue to make the transatlantic connection every now and again via internet. So yeah, I would love to be part of this, and yeah, it's my duty to see us growing and exchanging and sharing good content, as opposed to the other content, the most popular content that we see flying around with millions of views that amount to nothing in terms of our growth.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So that's where we will wrap it up today on this edition of If You Ask Jimmy. But before we round off, I have been getting help from the back end. I apologize to our viewers. Sometimes I look down from my camera and you know that definitely I'm doing some back end things here. This is our first live interview, and definitely it's a learning curve for us. I do not mean any disrespect to probably be multitasking. We have to communicate with the back end to make sure that we're actually live and we're actually, everything is going smoothly. So that's just the reason. Apologies for whatever is not professional, doesn't look professional. We're still learning and we're growing in this channel. Thank you very much. You can look into our channel for the other content that we have in different aspects, especially the pre-recorded interviews we had with Mr. Ade, we call him Ade, before. And also I want to use this opportunity to appreciate my helpers from the back end who saw what I was doing and they said, look, we can help you, we can support you from the back end. And Odeku Multimedia Services, OMS, thank you so much, JK and the team, for helping us from the back end to make sure that our production is, at least this production happens. Thank you very much. I'm sure that you will, if anybody needs the services of people who can handle end-to-end social media channels for them, OMS, we'll put we can see their numbers on the screen. Definitely, they'll be more than happy to help you right from the ideation stage to the design, to the pre-production, to the front-end UI UX design, to also the production and the post-production editing, and also maintenance and support, and also where you have, what do you call them now, back-end services for people who can manage your social media channel or handle for you, that is online support. Thank you very much, OMS, and thank you everyone for joining. I know this is a long ending, but thank you for doing this. Mr. Ade,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Best regards. We are in the afternoon here in Texas. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I know it's well over like 9:25 over there.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you for doing this with me, bro.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
See you again soon.
Guys, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.